watching my video regarding my understanding of the President Dharma talk on June issue. Well, following last month's theme, if only I had parents, this month's Dharma talk focused on filial piety. For last month's theme on parents and mothers, I compiled rejoinder by introducing my episode from my birth. I want to start this month's talk with a personal episode, again related to filial piety. Well, this month's theme is filial piety, meaning more profound gratitude to my parents. I will tackle this month's theme of filial piety based on my appreciations of my parents for giving birth to me, a unique life. I was born into a family where Kosei-kai Gohonzon-sama is enshrined already. So I was raised as a third generation of the faith. In reality, however, the religious connection between the sect and the family was concentrated on funeral rites, symbolized by so-called funeral Buddhism. Other significant events were recitation and memorial services on seasonal occasions such as Obon and New Year's Eve. Hence, the connection was not for self-improvement, religious practice, or training. Furthermore, as I was the third generation of Kosei-kai members, I had somehow accepted Kosei-kai as a living Buddhism. In contrast, traditional temple Buddhism was funeral Buddhism, and Kosei-kai Buddhism was living Buddhism, such as ancestral offerings, filial piety, and bodhisattva practices. I want to talk a little more about how I decided to dedicate myself to Risho Kosei-kai in such an upbringing environment. It will be easier to understand if we consider the keyword filial piety. I have presented this story as an experimental spiritual journey, as I have taught many times during my training as a member of headquarters staff up to the present day. Most recently, I presented it at the memorial service on 15th December 2020. It was at the time when COVID-19 had just appeared, so there was no group worshippers in the Great Sacred Hall, and I remember talking to myself in the dark hall with the light dimmed, facing to YouTube camera. The gist of the talk was as follows. My mother was the adopted daughter of childless grandparents who took her in at the age of 3 and raised her as the eldest daughter of the Akagawa family. My father married into the family as her husband. Although they were parent and child, my grandfather was someone I respected, but my father and he did not see eye to eye on how to take the initiative as the head of the household, leading a frequent conflicts. For us children, this rift between our parents was undoubtedly a source of anxiety in our family life and must have cast a significant shadow over our personality development. Fortunately, there was never a severe confrontation between my grandfather and father. Still, from time to time, at night, my father would get drunk and engage in wild, unrestrained outbursts that continued until late into the night. But despite the seemingly endless discord within my family, a significant question arose within me. My family is a member of Kosei-kai. We should have been familiar with the teachings since before I was born, even though we joined the Kosei-kai, which teaches about the enlightenment of the family and harmony of the household. Why must we live in such a discord? Is there something wrong with the teaching of the Kosei-kai? Are the teaching of the founder, the Lotus Sutra, merely a hollow spiritual pseudo-religion? My father's behavior provided me with more than enough reason to take my faith seriously. This is purely a matter of hindsight. My father did not intend to do anything wrong. However, for me, who sincerely desired a harmonious relationship with my father, it was undoubtedly a gateway to faith that I had to overcome, tackle, and could not avoid. It will take several more years for me to fully understand that this gateway was the best means or the most appropriate hoben prepared by the Buddha. However, while it may sound exaggerated to say it was for the sake of the achieving enlightenment within the family, who could have imagined that it would lead me to resign from my position as an English teacher at the public high school and embark on a life of lay monasticism in the Gakuren undergraduate course? I made such a drastic turn in my life because I was convinced that the teaching of the Kosei-kai contained the decisive clues to answer my questions about life. The motivation behind my faith was simply that I wanted my father to live each day in peace, and I wanted my mother to live each day without worry, feeling so secure and, if possible, with a sense of hope for tomorrow. I also wanted my grandfather, grandmother, and ancestors to return to a family where laughter filled at home, where sympathizing about one another and being sympathized with was taken for granted, where sharing joy and encouraging one another was the norm, a normal family scene. Honestly, that was all I desired. That was the reason for my decision to ordain to achieve the simple goal, filial piety toward parents, family, and ancestors. There are many ways to express it, but that was what I wanted to. That was all I simply wanted, to live in harmony with my family. I joined the workforce of Kosei-kai at 26, and this year I will reach the retirement age. It has already been 39 years. I have learned this expression from the present Nirvana. Life is full of suffering. Life is full of suffering whether we like it or not. We will encounter many setbacks and sorrows. However, everything in the world is changing without a moment's pause. So those who can quietly reflect on the cause of suffering, even in the midst of it, will always be able to live a life of infinite creation that is full of flavor. When a problem arises, the suffering will only increase if you blame the other person for specific conditions. Still, if you can quietly reflect on yourself through it and accept that everything is you can find a solution to the problem. Furthermore, I could find a phrase in the hymn of Ritual Kosei-kai that is sung at every ceremony. If you learn from the teaching of the Buddha, you will be able to find the solution in yourself. In addition, phrases such as follow the path of the Buddha and you will find it in yourself. We do not live alone. If I could open my eyes to the fact that I am alive and thriving in the world of karma and develop the human virtues of gratitude and humility. I thought that would be a sufficient answer to leaving home at the age of 26. This month, I had another opportunity to deepen my understanding through the Dhamma talk on filial piety. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your kind attention. See you next time. Okay, bye for now.